Mackenzie Enterprises. We make you look good.
In a business like this, and at that time, you weren't really sure if you were going to make it back. I'm Charlie McKay. I'm the owner of PDM. I'm also a sergeant for the Blaine County Sheriff's Office. Well, obviously, Alistair Sampson, he was an owner for a little while. I guess he was on a little bit of an LOA from law enforcement. Kind of a weird story. I was working for the hospital and also kind of moonlighting as a personal assistant because he obviously needed help. Things just took off from there. As his personal assistant, I, for the most part, started handling everything else on the back end for him. Just trying to change the face of the business because I guess it was starting to get a little bit of a bad reputation, but a lot of money out of pocket. In a business like this, and at that time, you weren't really sure if you were going to make it back because we hadn't struck a deal with the banks to be able to finance vehicles. For the most part, people had to purchase vehicles outright. It was a lot of out of the pocket all of the time. Just trying to retain employees was really hard. Just for that fact. When things started to change a little bit, Alistair kind of wanted to go back into, to pick back up into law enforcement. I was pretty much already running the business for him, and he wasn't sure what to do with PDM. So it was kind of I made it my baby. Yeah, and, I guess he gave it to me.
So would you say that he has a lot to do with your success, or that he gave you the opportunity to build your own success?
He gave me the opportunity to build my own success. And I'm eternally grateful for that. He knew by signing it over to me that it'd be in good hands. I was already putting blood, sweat, and tears into the business, and there was a lot of nights where I had no employees. I'd have no employees for days. I'd be here. I'd sleep in the back offices. For quite a while, I felt like I lived here. A lot of hard work went into it. Having to totally rebuild our ledgers.
Do you do all your ledgers and everything in-house?
Yeah, all of the ledgers are in-house, but a lot of it's pretty automated now, so it makes it a lot easier for employees, and that was the whole point.
What was the largest hurdle prior to the new business systems for running the business versus now?
We didn't really have a business account, so everything had to come out of my personal account. Giving employees bonuses, trying to give them a wage to help make up for time that they sat around. All commission, anything that was made by selling a vehicle, none of it went to the owner. It was solely 100% of proceeds of the business went to the employees. Down the line, we started doing a small percentage of dues from employees to myself to cover a lot of the business expenses, and that didn't happen until 6 months into ownership. Everything came out of pocket, all of the fees, all of the dues, any bonuses, anything along those lines.
And now do you make money?
I still kind of don't make money. Yes, we have a business account, but I primarily use that account to have the business pay for itself, which was the end goal for me, is I'm not here to make money off of the business. From the get-go, I never wanted to use the business as a means to get rich. Yes, sometimes there are benefits, but it's not the benefits that a lot of people think. I don't get free cars. I don't get any more of a discount than my staff can give you.
So on the pay and the commission, everything, prior to Mutiny, we would see commission be the only income gained from selling a car, and the banks would get everything else, and it was a huge chunk that they get. Is that still the same now, or has it been altered?
With the banks and the manufacturers, is we don't actually have to pay for the cars until it's sold. Once the vehicle is sold, we pay a certain amount back to the manufacturer. I want to say 3/4 of the commission goes to the employee and 1/4 of it goes to the business.
Would you say that the dealership business is better now versus prior to mutiny?
Not long after taking over the business, there was a lot of issues with the commission system and how that worked along with financing. And there was a lot of arguing with the banks. Now we know and can predict exactly how much commission we make from each vehicle. A salesperson would make more money prior to mutiny, but we were selling less vehicles. It's been a little turbulent. We've had some ups and downs, but I would say it's much better post mutiny with the new updated stuff from DOCL. Has made things a whole lot easier that I can adjust it on the fly if I wanted to.
Are there any other things that still need improvement?
I guess you can say I'm a bit of a squeaky wheel. I've had pretty decent relations with a few members of DOCL. So when something doesn't work, when I start calling them and telling them that I have problems, they've been pretty good about making sure that they get fixed in a reasonable amount of time. So
what would you say to somebody who's wanting to own a dealership? They're trying to get into the market.
First, make sure you have a second job, but make sure you're able to fund anything out of your own pocket. There's a lot of building of reputation that you have to do, and it's not just for your name, it's for the business name, because it doesn't matter if it's under new ownership or under new management. People will still have a sour taste in their mouth if there was a bad interaction that was had there before. Dedication, willing to spend more time there than anybody else. Going into it knowing that or expecting that you aren't going to make anything from it. The end goal with something like this is to have it pay itself and to be open and accessible to anybody that wants to purchase a vehicle, anybody that wants to work here. There's a lot of structure that has to go in place. You can't just step in and go, I'm gonna hire some employees, get my books together, and then that's that. We totally rebuilt everything from employee manuals to training manuals. Like, we rebuilt everything. I consider my employees my family. Yeah, and I try to treat them and pay them as such.
If you were to rate owning a business on a scale of 1 to 5, as far as hard or easy, 1 being easy, 5 being hard, where would you rate owning a dealership?
6. It's a pain in the ass.
All right, so definitely not for new business owners, somebody who's got some experience owning a business.
Yeah, it's something that you need to have patience and realize that you might not make a paycheck from it ever. And technically, I don't think a lot of owners should be really making a paycheck. That's for their employees. As long as the business can maintain itself and the employees are happy, like I said, there's a lot of trust and respect that has to go on the back end of things.
Do you have any other final thoughts before we close this up that you'd like to let people know from the business sector?
I don't want my words to dissuade people from wanting to own a business or own a dealership. Running something like this is hard work, and it should be treated as such. But in the end, it is rewarding. And if it's something that you want to do, and those are your goals and aspirations, then you should absolutely follow them. Follow your dream.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking your time to talk with us and let us know what it's like to run a dealership.
Oh yeah, no, not a problem. Thank you guys for coming out here and talking to me.